Well, that's all well and good, but now that I have this Google Analytics 3 tracking code, how can I actually use it on my site? Well, today we got the answer. Okay, once you're here, you're inside your Analytics 3 account like we were talking about before. So not inside the GA4, but inside your UA account. You'll want to just come into tracking code inside your actual property. Then you're going to copy this because you're going to need this no matter what. So I've got a sandbox set up over here that's just a total blank install. So we'll show you a couple of different ways you could actually install this, and then you can figure out what works for you. So over inside the sandbox, it's just a boring website with nothing there. You have a couple of different ways you can actually install stuff. So for right now, right, we're sitting on a theme. So you can always come into theme editor, and then you're going to get a heads up the first time you do this. You just say, I understand. So there's nothing to stop you from going into the theme header, and inside the actual header, just deciding to add your code. So the limitations with doing it this way is that when this theme updates, it's going to replace the header.php with the upgraded theme header.php. So you'll lose this. So that's why child themes exist. So you could put these kind of codes inside the child theme instead, which wouldn't get overwritten when this gets overwritten. But there's a lot of tools to do it nowadays. So this isn't necessarily even the most straightforward way, and unless you're running a theme like Carbonate. So like Carbonate itself, there is no updates to it. Carbonate itself is only the theme editor. So inside Carbonate, you could come into the theme header, and he's actually even got this put in here for you, which is just saying after this is where you can add your line. So if you want to add tracking, you would just press enter and add it here, and then you would save your file. And now inside Carbonate, you're running your script inside the actual theme, and there's no updates that come out, so you won't have to worry about these getting overwritten, and you can cut out a plugin from being run on your site. If you have a site like Acrobato, then you can actually go into Acrobato, and inside here, pause it for a second. Inside here, all right, so inside Acrobato, you actually can just go down to Acrobato settings and then down to SEO. And you actually can just put in the code. So in this case, you'd go back to your analytics code and you would just copy this section. And you would paste it into here. And then you just do update. And now it's inside Acrobato. And again, you don't need another plugin. You don't need anything else running. And if you don't have those and you're on GeneratePress, for example, then what you could do is, we're going to go ahead and jump back out of that theme. Inside just any normal theme, you can actually go into the range of plugins that exist to do this. So most people are familiar with Monster Insights. Monster Insights you can activate, and a lot of Bluehost in those sites will just come with it by default. And it'll actually just link to your Gmail account, and then you can just actually select your Universal Analytics account. Rank Math is similar to Monster Insights. You actually can get your tracking code inserted by Rank Math. So you could cut down on plugins again. If you're going to run an SEO plugin, you could run Rank Math, and with Rank Math, you could just actually have it activated inside there. The way I tend to do it if I'm on a theme that doesn't have it built in is to get a header footer code manager. So when you're in the plugins and you're searching for it, it's actually in here under HFCM. And I like this one over the other script managers because when you go into it here and you go to the snippets, when you go to add a new one, you actually get to choose where you want it to be. So you could be like, GA UA, right? So Google Analytics UA account, where I want to run it. So you can choose any place specifically. So every place, every post only, all pages, all categories. you know, you can choose out these specifics, right? So in this case, you're always going to do site-wide because you want to track everything everywhere. You can exclude stuff. So if you didn't want to track the thank you page, or you didn't want to track something specific, you could actually come in here and specifically select, don't do it on the home page. Post, same thing. You can come in here and be like, I don't want to track anything that goes to this page. And then the next thing is it gives you the option to do where you want to place it. So header, before the content, after the content, and in the footer. And then where you want to actually have it run on. So everything or just on desktop. So you could set up a whole bunch of different stuff with this plugin to manage a whole bunch of different code independently. And then it has the final one of active and inactive. So this way you could track this whole thing. And then when you go back here to look later in 2 months and you can't remember, then you actually have all of this information here telling you that it's on or off, what you named it, how it's running, where it's running, as opposed to the other ones that just kind of give you a box of crud. And in a year and a half, you're not going to remember probably what half of those scripts are doing. So like if you had AdSense, you'd put on Google AdSense and you get the validation. Once you're validated, then you can come back in here and just do that and it's turned off. You don't have to worry about that validation script running anymore. It's there in case you ever need it again. So hopefully this has helped give you an idea of how to add your tracking codes effectively and not use up too much of your time.